Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Beastly, back at it again with episode 2 in my How to Get a Top 5 Recruiting Class in College Football 26, a series that I haven't, at the time of me recording this video, haven't posted, or maybe I have posted the previous episode, but either way, possibly pre-recorded, possibly not. Don't have a name for the series. Probably just going to roll with that. Anyways, this is going to be covering seasons 3 and 4 and how you should be building your dynasty, specifically to get a top 5 recruiting class. If you want to know what perks I'm using, if you want to know what playbooks I'm using, if you have any questions like that, because I'm going to be, again, cutting all of that, trimming that all out of the game, except for maybe the natty. If we make the natty, I'll probably put that in the video. But everything that has nothing to do with recruiting is going to be skipped to make these very long episodes shorter. I think the first episode was 3 to 4 hours that I trimmed down to, I think, 50-something minutes. So if you guys can, be sure to smack a like on this video. These videos take a ton of time. All my research and data videos take a ton of time as well. So the like does mean a lot. And without further ado, let's go to hop right into it. So for year 1 and year 2, to briefly recap, you want to get as many 3 stars on your roster as humanly possible. You want to remove the filth, get those 65 and 45 and 55 overall bums off your team, because even if they're a 3-star bust, they're still going to be a higher overall than if they were not. Next, in year 3, which is what we're going to be covering in this video, the next strat is to go from mass amounts of quantity to mass amounts of quality. At this point, we have a roster, we have a team, we're winning some games, we're moving up in the dynasty, ladder. Now it's not a matter of, okay, we need bodies on our team. Now it's, okay, we need players who have good dev traits, who can develop, who can become very, very, very good. So for starters, since we are amassing players of the good variety, you should treat 4 stars and 5 stars identically to how you treat 3 stars. The first 4 stars you should go after are the 4 stars that are in your pipeline, and highest interest and highest pipeline. That should be your priority 1. Does not matter if they're a 4-star bust, does not matter if they're a 5-star bust. If you have a school like we don't, unfortunately, our pipelines all kind of, as you can see, all kind of suck. But best pipeline, best interest, tier 1 players. Your tier 2 players are highest interest, no pipeline. Your tier 3 players are highest interest, no pipeline. And your tier 4 players are no interest and no pipeline. Stay away from them. Don't go near them. You will probably lose them. Next, the other thing you should begin to start to notice is offers. Offers are a massive, massive, massive insight into whether or not you have a probable chance of winning or losing a recruit. Basically, what do you mean by offers? When you're on this screen, the recruiting screen, and you look to the right of your bar and to the left of your pipelines, there's an offer. As you guys can see, for this 4-star running back, we're going to be going from Phoenix, Arizona, Mr. Sayaki Tavasu. These names are just hilarious. As you can see, there's only 2 schools that are going after him. That is me and Oregon. Now, obviously, other schools can get involved. Other schools, later on can do stuff. But as of this moment in week 0, which is the current week I'm in, it's just 2 schools. Now, if you look at the size of Oregon's bar is roughly the same size as ours. However, they have a tier 4 pipeline. We don't. So if it's roughly the same size with the pipeline differential, that means Oregon's probably not putting a bunch of hours on him. Now, this could obviously change in week 2, week 3, week 4. But as of this moment, I kind of feel like Oregon is going to be putting between 10 to 15 hours on him. Whereas even though, yes, we do have the pipeline deficit, which I'll cover later on how you can kind of offset pipeline deficiencies. But as of this moment, we're putting more hours on him. So even though the pipelines kind of finagle things, we are putting more hours. And you will just do that for other players, as you guys can see for Kenyon Fayade, these names. Kenyon over here. He has a bunch of offers, right? Boise, Cal, BYU, North Texas, a bunch of offers. However, out of those offers, there's only 2 schools that have a pipeline. That is me, and that's North Texas. So as long as we can stay in front of North Texas the entire time, we'll be fine. And just use that logic to go after any 4 stars you really can, because 4 stars are an upgrade to 3 stars. And again, it's about talent, getting better talent, not more talent, right? You would rather have in years 3 and year 4, you would genuinely rather have 12 to 15 4/5-star players than like 23-star gems, again, to like keep extending that, right? You got to keep going up. You got to get better. You got to improve. And so versus someone like Channing Reese over here, we do have the best pipeline we can for compared to the previous people for a tier 2 pipeline. However, we are going to be competing against Georgia, who is a 5, and Indiana, who also is a 2. So this one's probably an example of someone who I would keep an eye on, and I would drop him with the swiftness. If Georgia puts 50 on there, you're not going to get him. If Bama puts 50 on there, you're not going to get him. If Miami gets involved, you're not going to get him. We can realistically probably beat Indiana and probably beat Boise and probably Oregon, but the big boys we're not going to touch. They have better pipeline, more hours, stuff like that. We are also this season going to be pursuing 5 stars. Just like how you can get free 3 stars and free 4 stars, this same logic also applies to 5 stars. There was a gentleman in the comments of my previous video who said that I shouldn't waste time getting 3 stars year 1 and year 2. I should be pursuing 4 and 5 stars in year 1 and year 2. I don't know what dynasty you play. I don't know what teams you play. But if you go back and watch, especially year 1 of our Middle Tennessee Dynasty, we had Fs and Ds for everything. And I get it. He is correct that there are 5 stars and 4 stars the CPU just will not pursue, which means you, the player, can get them for free. But I don't generally advise people to do that, especially not year 1 or year 2, because hypothetically, even if it's super random, like a 1-tier pipeline, right? Let's say, for example, with this person right here, with Bradley McLeon right here. There's no one going after him but me. We are the only team who's offered him and has put hours on him. So we are ahead of everybody. But we could be dumping hours and hours and hours into him for like 3, 4, 5 weeks. And then Indiana, as you can see with a tier 4 pipeline, just swoops in there last second, has 2 weeks where they send 50 plus hours, and it offsets our 5 to 6 weeks of putting effort into him. Now, because we have since grown our team, as you guys can see, because we didn't do this in year 1 or year 2, we no longer have Fs for everything. We have A procs, we have A playing time, we have B championship, we have B coach prestige, we have B playing style. Now we have more grades at our disposal. So even if Indiana does get involved and Indiana does try to fight us for this guy and we have a 0 and they have a 4, because our grades aren't absolute, just horrendous war crimes, we can actually fight back, right? The same logic is also applying to Malachi. That might be the worst way I've ever seen someone spell Malachi. Malachi? Ellis over here. It's like either their first name's really easy to pronounce or their last name. It's never both. Elias over here. He has, as you can see, no offers from no teams, and no one's putting hours on him, and no one has pipelines but me. So even though, oh, they're big, bad 5 stars, oh, I'm so scared. As you guys can see, it's not that as of this moment, it's not that hard, right? We are the only people going after these 2 5 stars. And then we have someone like DeMarcus Dillard over here, which we probably shouldn't go after just because, as you guys can see, yeah, but Beasley, there's only 2 offers and you have a tier 2 pipeline here, so you have a chance, right? Wrong. If you guys have ever played this game, especially gone after the good players, you guys know there are the 3 big bad teams, the 3 boogeymen of this game. If you're going after defensive players, you should always be afraid of Georgia because Kirby Smart has every perk in the game for recruiting Georgia defensive players, or not really Georgia, but defensive players to Georgia. Second, if you're going after a wide receiver, you got to be afraid of Ohio State. Ohio State is just, they gave that Ryan Day and his staff every receiver perk in the game. So getting a receiver to not go to Ohio State regardless of pipeline is difficult. Defense for Georgia players. And lastly, Clemson for offensive players. They gave Dabo just an unethical coach build for offensive players, running back, quarterback, receiver. So if one of those 3 boogeymen are there and they have a good pipeline, the odds of you getting them are very, very, very low. And as you guys can see, yes, there are only 2 teams and we do have a pipeline for this 5-star, but we're probably, I'm going to try, right? I'm going to try, but the odds of us getting him is very, very, very low. And then fourth, if I had to pick a 4th honorable mention for the boogeymen, that would be QBs and the University of Alabama. I don't know why, but Kalen DeBoer has an unethical coach build for QBs. They might have 12 QBs on the roster, and for some reason, Bama is still fighting for transfer portal QBs and regular QBs. I don't know why. It's just some coaches and some rosters are designed to always attack certain positions, and if you see them, you should be very afraid. So we're going to try, like I said, but we're going to probably fail this guy. Another person we're going to try is Mo Gold over here. And the reason why we're going to try to get him is you guys can see the teams that are actually fighting for him. Tulane, they have a tier 3, but it's Tulane, right? They're not that much better than we are. Pitt, no pipeline. Duke, no pipeline. Nebraska, no pipeline. OSU, basically no pipeline. And then lastly, Clemson and USC, no pipeline. The only two schools that realistically should scare us is Tulane, which doesn't scare us, and Georgia. Now, Georgia is present, even though Georgia's not pursuing him as of this moment. Keyword is this moment. Georgia could hop in here several weeks down the road and mess things up for us. But as of this moment, at this time, Georgia is not pursuing him, so we can actually fight. And if we can lock Georgia out, if we can get this to the top 5 as quick as humanly possible, which is our goal, to lock Georgia out, that way they can't hop in there, we'd be perfect. Because again, no disrespect to Tulane, but I'm not really afraid of Tulane. Now, if Tulane had like a 5, then yeah, but a 3-star or 3-tier pipeline Tulane is not going to scare me. And lastly, we got Toby Nwangu. These names. Toby over here, should just last name be McGuire, and had a very funny Spider-Man reference. Anyways, Toby, same thing as the previous 5 stars, as you guys can see. They have 2 offers from Notre Dame, who's a 3, which is kind of scary, and Penn State, which is a 3, who's also kind of scary. But I feel very confident pursuing him just because we have offensive linemen already on our board. We have receivers on the board. So we have things that can pair with him. So, you know, we might lose him too, but there's only 2 schools pursuing him, and they are decent schools, albeit, but there we go. Our goal is, of these 5 5-stars, I would love to land at least 2 of them, maybe 3. That would be awesome, but we really don't know. And because these 5 stars are kind of chewing up almost all of our hours, it does limit who we can go after for our 4 stars. But essentially, exactly what I did for 3 stars, just do that for 4 stars. Go after who you can. If there's no one going after him, do I have any 4 stars in which... Yeah, like, good example, Dom Fontes, I can't pronounce any of these names. Dom over here has 1 offer. It's from Michigan State. And it's also a tier 1 pipeline. So realistically, I could hop on this and easily either compete with him or beat him. But the 5 stars do kind of are more valuable to me, and they should be more valuable to you because you can't get a top 5 class without 5 stars. My general rule of thumb for 5 stars is you want to get at least, if you're in an online dynasty, at least 2 of them. If you get 2 5 stars, you have a very high chance of getting a top 5 recruiting class. If it's a CPU dynasty like I'm doing here, you want to shoot for 5. 5 seems to be the sweet spot, where if you do get 5 stars, the odds of you getting a top 5 class is very, very, very high. The point spread you're actually shooting for, if you're curious, online dynasties, I have seen top 5 classes range between like 230 and 240 points. Whereas for offline dynasties against the computer, you're shooting between 240 and 250 points, right? I've seen crazy years where the threshold for a top 5 class is pretty low, and I've seen years where the top 5 class is, very high. So that does range. So yeah, for an online dynasty, you want 2. For an offline, you want at least, if you're being safe, 5, right? If you want to like push the limits, try to get 2 or 3. But the more 5 stars you do get, the easier your life becomes. So with that being said, I am probably going to, with this season, since there's a lot more talking and a lot more things to go after than just, hey, do this, do this, do this, and you're pretty much done, I will probably not be cutting out any of this. So we just got locked out of a ton of guys, which is not surprising. We have no hours on them, and we're not going after them. Now let's go ahead and clean the board of 5 stars who we didn't go after. Clemson went after a few of these guys, which is scary. Had no chance. Versus some of these guys at Clemson, Georgia. Yeah, that guy's gone. He's gone, and he's also gone. I wish there was a button where you can click. Ooh, well, here you go. Great example of what I was just referring to. So we put 1 week of effort into DeMarcus Dillard, and we're gone. Because Clemson put the entire magazine into him along with Tennessee, and it was so many hours, we couldn't even get top 8. So he is off the board, and same thing with this QB. Michigan also put a ton of hours into him, which then forced the top 8, which then locked us out. So that is unfortunate that we did get locked out of those 2. However, as you guys can see, no one is still going after Bradley and McLeon, which is awesome, and no one is still going after Malachi Elias. So these 2 are still fair game, and this gentleman, Mo Gold, That's a great name. Pitt, Duke, and Oklahoma State are not pursuing him anymore. It's just between two schools, Nebraska and Tulane, and we're going to cross our fingers and hope that we can sneak into the top 8, which honestly shouldn't be difficult considering a lot of people aren't putting hours into him, so going up the board shouldn't be hard. And yes, as you guys can see, like I mentioned earlier in the previous week, that yes, even though Oregon does have a pipeline advantage over us, it does matter how many hours they're sending. Oregon is not sending anywhere near the amount of hours we are, so we are able to offset the pipeline. Same thing with this player, and Georgia is actually going to fight us for this left tackle. Do I think that's smart to fight Georgia? Well, who will I pair? Hypothetically, I could pair the tackle with this center, which means we have to then go after the center. So we can pair the tackle and we can pair the center. Do we have a running back on the board? We do. We have this gentleman, the guy we're fighting possibly Oregon for. And then we have no QB. So it'd just be a running back, tackle, center pair. So we probably do need to go out and find a guard. Because the other thing you want to also do when you're doing these recruits, especially without Elite Recruiter, is the complimentary visits matter significantly. So you want to play aggressive. You want to get to as big of a lead as you possibly can to try to deter the computer from fighting you. And with this tackle, we're going to need some good combo visits to jump Georgia, which currently we're tied with, but that is probably not going to last long. Probably a week or two, Georgia will jump us, but we can fix that with a few pieces. So since we kind of already have the board prioritized to how we would like it, let's go and, now that I think a little more about this, we should definitely prioritize the 5-star pairs versus the 4-star pairs. Because as annoying as it would be to lose the 4 stars, the 5 stars do matter significantly more. And we have a will and a safety, which means if we had a Mike and a strong safety pair, that would be a 4-person combo. Do we have a Mike and a strong safety? We do have a strong safety. However, Georgia is going after him, and you know, Georgia's one of those teams where you just got to kind of be very scared of what they can and can't do. So we're going to put the hours off of this guard again. And we're going to go look for a 4-star strong safety or a 4-star middle linebacker. That way we could possibly pair with the 5 stars. And all you do is go to the advanced searching tool, go to 4 stars, go to safety, and click done. Now we will filter by all who's available. Anybody with no offers? No, everybody looks like they have offers. Okay, so we might be sacrificing a safety here. And what I mean by sacrificing is a person we're putting on a pair for the complimentary visit, even though we have no intention of actually getting him. Now, realistically, this gentleman, Joe Rudolph over here, does look the most grabbable, because Tulane's already starting here, and even though we are top 5 for this guy, and we have a pipeline, unfortunately, Georgia's in the mix. Oklahoma and Tennessee are also in the mix, and they have, I think, tier 5s. So I'm going to go ahead and slap him on the board, but I don't think he's realistically going to be obtainable. And then lastly, we will now go after middle linebackers. And you could also put the filter for pipelines, which we probably should be doing, but there are so many that I really just don't think it'll be that difficult. And yeah, we have several linebackers who can always pair. So that's good, especially considering we have pipelines. So the 2 mics we want to pursue is this gentleman who has no offers, as you guys can see. Awesome. Only want to provide him an offer. And then we have this gentleman, which is getting pursued by Kansas State, which sounds scary because their bar is very big, but they're only a tier 1. So I don't think they would really push it too far. If they do, we'll just rotate and swap to someone else. There's a bunch of middle linebackers. We don't really got to worry too much. And then for the strong safeties, see, a part of me wants to fight Georgia here, but Georgia and safeties just kind of go hand in hand versus someone like Joe Rudolph over here, which would be virtually no effort to obtain. Yeah, let's go after Joe Rudolph. Why not? We'll go ahead and take him off the board and just put those 25 hours into him and go into next week and see how we do. Depending on how long this first season does, we might splinter this from multiple episodes or multiple seasons per episode to just one. Because unlike the first episode where we were kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again, we're not really doing anything different. We're just doing a lot more in-depth, thorough analysis and judgment calls for getting these classes, which is all you can do. That's kind of the unfortunate part here, is it's all you really can do. Go ahead and get the guys off the board who we can't go after anymore. How's the 5 stars? Ooh, so as you guys can see, we have officially took first place on Bradley McLeon over here. No one is pursuing him, which is awesome. Love to see that. And we have also finally taken first place on Malachi Elias. Awesome, 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 awesome. The safety, we have just finally breached the board for him, but next week we should comfortably jump Tulane very easily because they're not even trying. So it's just going to be us versus Nebraska. And we both have no pipelines. It'll come down to grades and visits, and I feel like we can win that. We are going to dump extra hours into Rudolph because we do need him into his top 5 as quickly as humanly possible. We have reached the board for him, and we have reached the board for him. Unfortunately, Auburn is kind of starting to get involved for this linebacker, so that's kind of scary. But overall, we're doing fine. Honestly, this corner we probably should leave, but we're not going to. We're going to save this tackles visit. Actually, we have a disgusting visit lineup. We have visits for 3, 4, and 5. Ooh. Now, we can't do the running back yet because he's not paired. And we can't do the center yet because he's not ready because we're not putting hours into this very moment. But that's kind of our goal right now, is to get the center. Georgia is also still fighting us. Ooh, we have a disgusting hard sell. A+, B+. Ooh. I like that. We're going to take the hours off of this gentleman and the hours off of this gentleman. May not seem like a ton, but those 5 hours will add up. And we are going to take hours probably off of no one and just slap the 10 hours onto him. And hope either we can crack that top 8 quick enough or Boise can as the main mission here. Because the quicker we get someone to commit, the quicker things will start opening up for us. We are 1-0. Nice. I also just realized I didn't hard sell the tackle. The same calculator I used in episode 1, I will not do it in this episode due to how slow and tedious all this is going to end up being. I think we're good in the strong safety front, so we're going to go ahead and just get the safety off the board. That mic is still fine. Ooh, we are having big bar, big bar. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. We have 50 hours. I don't know where these 50 hours came from. We might have got locked out of someone I actually care about, but we got those guys going. Oh, we got 50 from this. That's yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and plug stuff into this calculator again. I'm not going to pull it up on screen due to me doing it in the previous episode. If you want to go check out the comments of that video, it's the same calculator there. But how it works for the transfer portal is how it works in the regular season. It basically just gives you the odds for what the sells can be. He is a 4-star, is where he messed up. We should have hard sold him, or at least double soft sold him the moment we had the chance, which we didn't. He is no for brand exposure, no campus lifestyle, no championship contender. He has no coach stability and no conference prestige. No procs to home. Ooh. He has a 100% chance to be this, which is a bit scary because playstyle can change week to week. But PT shouldn't change. He should easily be the highest overall tackle we have the entire time. And pro potential is also a solid. So Cal can try and fight us. Same thing with BYU. They can try and fight us, but ultimately we have a pipeline and they don't. So I'm not too pressed by them. This center, kind of needs a lot more hours. And as fun as it would be to, you know what, I lied. I was going to say, as fun as it is the Ego Challenge Georgia, we probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. Realistically, the correct play here would be to take the hours off the tackle that we don't need and put them on the center, which we do need, but I'm not, I want to beat Georgia. So we're going to go ahead and try and beat Georgia. For the 5 stars, which I scrolled past, we are still in first place for the wide receiver. We're about to lock everyone out, which is going to be super good for us. Again, for the linebacker, we are still first place with no commits. And as you guys can also see, because we have reached the top 8, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, A&M, Bama, Penn State, Texas, all those schools sound super scary and super dangerous. But guess what? We're the only school here with a pipeline. So that should pretty much guarantee us get this guy, assuming we don't butcher the visit. And then here, Tulane is actually picking up momentum. They are actually trying now to go after the 5-star, and Nebraska is still ever so slightly holding onto that edge. But I think we're going to make a big moves very, very quickly. And for these guys, we're kind of just waiting for them to enter their top 5. And essentially, whichever pairing/group enters their top 5 first will be the pairing/group that gets the visit. So whether we stack the all-defense visit or the all-offense visit, whomever gets the full amount of people there first will receive the visit. Did we just lose to Coastal Carolina? Oh, we didn't. Thank you. I was going to say, we shouldn't lose, but 700 XP is pretty low. Okay, so the running back is done, the tackle is done, and the center is not done. So now we can go ahead and hard sell this tackle because we do have good grades because we're not, horrible. And we are hard selling him. I can see on the board that BYU has a week 9 visit, but I'm really not pressed for week 9 BYU. I'm not. They would have to do a lot of heavy lifting for that visit. The really people we're paying attention to is Cal and North Texas. If those two put a visit on, we got to pay attention, but otherwise we're fine. Same thing with this running back. I can hard sell him and just take these extra few hours and just go ahead and slap them on Sap, who actually does need it. And I guess we can do the same thing for you. Just put everything we have into Sap, because, again, we need him to unpair, because the quicker he unpairs, we could do center, tackle, running back, get a disgusting 3-stack of combos. And then down here, we are still first place for the 5-star receiver, which is going to be huge for this team. We are still first place for the linebacker. Again, no resistance. We finally jumped Tulane, which makes sense, because, again, they might have a better pipeline. We're sending more hours, which is cool. We are now number 2 for the safety. However, the safety is nowhere close to his top 5, which can be a problem. And going into next week, this linebacker will actually be in his top 5. Since we are so overwhelmingly in first place for this linebacker, I'm just going to go ahead and pull out. There's really no need. So we have the Mike done, the safeties, and the Wills are still waiting. We have all these extra hours. Now we can dump them into the center, and I will feel now a lot less bad for not actually doing a full 50. We'll see. And then, again, we got some extra hours. So go ahead and slap 10 back onto you and slap 10 back onto you. It won't really do much, but realistically, we could already put them on a visit. Right? Well, you could argue that one extra green arrow won't really matter in the long run, but for me, I want to do a massive visit stack, and in order to do that, we have to have everybody ready. We got another win. We are 3-0 in Sim. That is pretty cool, pretty cool. The corner is done. That's nice. The free safety, which we probably should have been going after, is locked us out. Ooh, Georgia is a week 8. I think that's GG's. Yeah, that is GG's. I can, in hindsight's 2020, obviously, but I can confidently say now we've done messed up. So now, since we can't jump in front of Georgia's week 8, we can only do a week 9 visit. We basically have to hope that Georgia does not have any complimentary visit stacking or win the game. In both of those hypotheticals, I really just don't see there being a chance in that happening, sadly. So we should probably just call it quits. For him, I wanted to ego Georgia so badly, but this is what I mean. When you have one of the boogeymen pop up on the board, you probably should just respect it. If we had a week 5 or week 4 visit, we might have got enough to offset this. But we can't really afford... We can't really afford to lose this. We did stick a lot of hours into this, and we are slightly winning now, but George's visit is week 8. What week are we in? We're in week 5. So theoretically, we have week 5, 6, and 7 to get him home. And I just, again, don't see that happening with a C, A+, B+. If it was all 3 A+, then sure, we might have a shot. But Georgia will eventually overtake us, and since we can't beat them with the visit, just going to take my own advice here. Leave the board. It's very unfortunate, but we do have a tackle already. And this gentleman who is probably going to commit before we even can get the visit off in week 9, which is fun. Tulane is not going after this corner anymore, and we are in this top 5. So can I go ahead and guess his hard/soft sells? That'd be really cool if I can. You like playing time, and you also like playing style, which already makes it a 1-3 shot. But we know you don't have coach stability, which lowers it from a 1-3 to a 50-50. And it's not even really a 50-50 because it's an 88% chance to be clocked in. So we're going to go ahead and roll the dice, risk the dice. And if we miss, we miss. Oh, well. But if we don't, then nice. We should hit pretty comfortably. This linebacker is done, but unfortunately we are still waiting for this strong safety, this free safety, and this will. All of them are going to be kind of going live at different time periods, which is unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Don't really worry also about where you're ranked during the year, just because it'll fluctuate so much, especially with that and the portal and everything else. So don't you worry. We also won again. Awesome. We're 4-0. We've won all of our non-cons. Sweet. Halfback done. Running back done. Center will be done next week. I don't think it'll matter, though. I think it's over. I think legit we get this guy next week. Ooh. It'll actually matter. I lied. The running back needs the visit. Oregon will take him off us if we don't combo. We did hit the hard sell. It was, in fact, the 87% chance. Nice. Now Tulane's actually going to fight. Cool. The mic is done. This mic is done. This safety is done. The strong safety looks like it'll be done in 2 more weeks, which is just not good. That's very, very, very not good for us. Definitely in hindsight, obviously I can't go back now. It's what's done is done, but in hindsight, if I could go back, I would go ahead and schedule those guys and not try to get the super stack and just let it go. But hey, that's kind of how the game works sometimes, depending on your perks and depending on your pipelines and just a lot of variables that sometimes it may take. Wow, our hard sells for this dude are garbage. Conference prestige, which we won't be in this conference next year. I'm going to go ahead and move us up because we're kind of beating the crap out of our opponents. Is holding us back, along with pro potential is holding us back. So I'm really hoping it's not gamer. If it's gamer, we are so cooked. But if it's standard bear, we do have a shot. Not a very big shot, but a shot. I don't even got to use a calculator for this gentleman. I already know it's going to be this, which is not very good, but I've seen worse. I have seen a lot worse. Now we advance. The one good thing, though, is since we are kind of beating the crap out of our opponents, last season we did squeak into the playoffs. We won 1 game and then lost. Hopefully we can do the same. We got the tackle to commit before the visit, which in hindsight should have done that weeks ago. But, oh well. What's done is done. There we go. I can finally... Exactly what I said would happen. The tackle is now gone. The center is here. The running back is here. We have nobody else ready to go. I think we finally have the defense stack, finally. Mike is done. Free safety is done. So now we can go ahead and schedule the defense. Because we are fighting for this linebacker, we're going to schedule him first. We're going to probably do the offense for week 9 and the defense for week 11. That's probably the strat here. Ooh, we have 2 weeks, though. Ooh, I lied. This safety will top 5 next week, so we can go ahead and prepare for that. The linebacker who's getting resistance is you. We're going to go ahead and schedule you for week 9. The best thing we can, which is PT, which is very scary because that can fluctuate so much. This free safety, we are also going to schedule for you. And yours is playing style, which is an A+, a massive visit. And we did get the good sell. So we did get very lucky there and not the bad one. This is the only sell we actually had. And it would be a lot better if we were in literally any other conference, but unfortunately we are not. This linebacker will go here. He also wants PT, which that shouldn't drastically change. And I'm also pretty sure I can hard sell you now too, right? It could be that. Or it could be this. Awesome. Well, where's my calculator? Gonna go ahead and whip this back out. Go ahead and plug stuff in because I want to see the best odds I possibly can. That way I can make the best judgment I can. So it's a 62% chance to be the cell phone versus a 38% chance to be the star. I don't personally like those odds high enough to risk missing it, so we're going to go ahead and just do the double soft sell. We will reap all the rewards and have none of the punishments for missing the sell. But it's not like we're getting any competition here, right? Georgia's, like, no one's fighting us for these two guys, so we're... Ooh, I lied. Notre Dame just got on the board for this receiver. They're actually starting to try now. I know it's a bit late. They do have a pipeline, and our grades aren't the best. So, they could do some very nasty stuff. But I'm going to hope that they just don't even try. The safety, we got the right sell. The linebacker, we are going to find out the right sell, and you, we have the right sell. Again, he'll find out next week. We're going to wait on you, and then... Yes. We have 20 hours to play with. So because we have 20 hours to play with... I'm going to go ahead and schedule the lineman. Ooh. So week 11 is several weeks down the road. Yeah, I really regret. So in hindsight, if I could go back, I would have done all the offensive people in weeks 3, 4, and 5, and all the defensive people in week 9, 10, and 11. If I could go back, I would, and have done that. But like I said, I've already... made my mistakes. I am human. Even though I am good at recruiting, by no means am I perfect at recruiting. Ooh. This is super risky. This is super, super risky. So, as you can see, Tulane has the week 8 visit. And we could pair a week 9. If Tulane wins the week 8, we're cooked. But if Tulane loses the week 8, we can actually win. And we do have a super stack with a safety linebacker combo. And let's go big brain this very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. Good thing to put in the video. If you guys want to see what someone's schedule is, just go find the team schedule, go to the filter by Tulane, and then scroll to week 8. Week 8, Tulane is playing Army. Okay, so there's a very, 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 very high shot Tulane just flat out wins. If they were playing an actual scarier opponent, I would risk it, but again, we can't jump them necessarily. And as sexy as a combo as that is to see, I don't think it's worth it. I think the strong safety is a much better pair. For now, anyways. So we have 20 hours we're not going to use. We're just going to go ahead and advance. And get 1 week closer to our destiny. We lost. That's not supposed to happen. How in the world did we lose? We lost a one-score game to Jacksonville State. That's... How? Our QB just sucked. That's... moral of the story. Our QB just did terrible. That's... Well, I'm still going to leave the conference because we got to get our conference prestige up, but I mean, we're an 85 overall team, and what is Jacksonville State? Like a 60? I guess, but that's annoying. That one loss might have just cucked us for this 5-star. That one loss dropped our championship contender down a whole thing from an A to a B, which locks us out for you. Oh, that is so sad. Wow, that is... I mean, I was expecting to go undefeated because, again, we have an 85 overall team. But, is it this? Wait, it might be that. Or this. I'm gonna go ahead and hope it's just that. Oh my goodness, bro. One singular loss. Just canned our entire season. That's... I mean, it's fair. We're in like a terrible conference, but we weren't supposed to lose to them. That's... Now it's back up, but I think the damage has already been done. Yeah, the damage has kind of already been done. I'm going to schedule versus you. It's a 3-star visit with rivalries. And we're going to have to just cross our fingers since we have no QBs and wide receivers can only pair for some reason with QBs. I don't understand why EA does that, but playing time's the best grade we got. We have no pipeline. Notre Dame is actually starting to contest us because we took 1 week off. And that 1 week we didn't have the hours was basically a free week to Notre Dame, which is just scary. That is so, so, so scary. But if we can just win versus the team in New Mexico State that hasn't won a football game all year, we should be fine. We should be much so very fine. That's... Same thing with this gentleman. We kind of have to win. We need a massive blowout, which is an extra arrow. We got the 3 complimentary arrows, and it's an A+. So we could get like a 9 or a 10 visit from this, and all 3 of them should just commit instantaneously. Which will be massive for us. Assuming we don't choke to New Mexico State. Which I don't know why we would, but I also didn't expect to choke versus Jacksonville, so. There's the mic. That is the only person who committed. Are you kidding me? Wow. We had all of those visits. And the Mike was the only guy that actually committed. I mean, the strong safety got like a massive... Yeah, he got a 9 out of 10 visit. That was a massive bump to his bar. The only problem, though, is we kind of needed them to commit. Because now it opens the door for teams like Oregon here. Oregon, if they... Like, if Oregon has enough complimentary visits and a crazy enough blowout, they could easily hop right back into this team fight, which is concerning. Kind of like how Notre Dame is hopping back into this team fight, minus the week, which nothing happened, but Tulane got their visit, which is the exact thing we were kind of expecting. And we got to just hope to God we get this guy this week, because if we wait till week 10, I think we lost him to Oregon. Which, oh, it is week 10. We might have just choked all of our offensive guys because I didn't put them on a visit early enough, which is super sad. We'll see, though. As long as Oregon doesn't win, or if Oregon does win and just can't shoot the gap, we'll be fine. I'm kind of tempted, just in case we do get into a recruiting battle, to go ahead and schedule him anyways. But Oregon very easily could win this, which is just sad. I guess I can go ahead and schedule this too, because they do pair, and I have been hard selling the last several weeks, which I'm an idiot. I'm sure you guys have been screaming at your screen, "Hey, Beastly, why aren't you hard selling the center?" I forgot. I forgot. I did the funny thing and did not hard sell him. We have any other pairs? We have a middle linebacker over here. Unfortunately, that's kind of it. We don't really have a lot else. Yeah, hindsight's 2020, but if I could go back in time and redo this season, I would have hard sold the tackles, centers, and running backs early, and would have hard sold the defensive players late. My big plan was to have everything by week 7, but oh well. We won again. Undefeated Western Kentucky. Oh my goodness, we did get a recruiting battle. So me actually scheduling this visit is monumental. If we win, we get, I'm pretty sure, the center and the guard. This linebacker is going to commit. Penn State's going to swoop in and steal this guy. Yep, Penn State's going to swoop in. He's not going to commit by, I think, week 13, because we're in week 10 this week, no, week 11. And if you guys can see, that bar is moving so small. Oh, I think we might get jumped. Oh, we might get jumped. Oh, this might end up being a travesty. Fucking Oregon. Oh my god. Oh, we might get jumped by for every single person. That is so heartbreaking because I waited way too late to hop in these battles with visits. Should have did the visits much sooner. Now, I was going to try to, like, keep this to myself for as long as humanly possible, but I guess I can go ahead and spill the beans an hour into the episode. But, this episode is already pre-recorded the first time, and we got the 6th recruiting class in the first time I filmed this. And I asked my stream every day on YouTube/Twitch. Check me out around 6 o'clock CST. But I asked chat if I should just delete the VODs and re-record the video and try to get 1 or 2 more commits. And the first time around, we were undefeated. We didn't lose a single game all year. And again, I finished the 6th recruiting class in the country. And spoiler alert, this linebacker, excuse me, we got him. And then this receiver, we also got him. These two guys this safety was new. And then a few other guys were also new. So in the pursuit to do better than my first attempt, I reshot this video, and I think we're actually going to get a lot worse. We got the running back, which was huge, which means we also get the center, which is huge. We got the first 5-star being the safety. And if you're curious, when I mean that we went undefeated, I meant like we went undefeated and didn't make the playoffs. We were like 13 or 14-0 and didn't make the playoffs, which is just fun. Now that we got some commits, we have more hours that we can now spend on more people. It was a massive visit. Wow. That visit, I think, guaranteed the receiver. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic here, but with how little our bar is moving versus how big the Oregon bar is moving, I think we're gonna get jumped. I think we're gonna get jumped, which is funny because my first attempts, I got 2 5-stars, and this attempt I thought I could have 3, and the extra 5-star would make the difference up, and I might also finish with the same number of 5-stars as we did last time. Are there any 4-stars left on the board? There are a few 4-stars. The only issue is that some of them are being kind of divas. Him being playing time. I mean, we have a pipeline here, but it's Tulane. It's Tulane. We just got off this guy because we're not going to beat 5 pipeline Notre Dame. We'll drop 50 on you. That way we can stay in it for next week. We'll drop... Everyone else can probably just catch the bare minimum. You know, we'll do 50 for you two just to try to match Tulane. Just to show them that if we wanted to, we could actually take their boy. One last quick search. Make sure everyone is everything they need to get. Now, even though this time around we're going to probably finish undefeated again, with just, I say undefeated, but with 1 loss, there's like no way we make the playoffs. We did get the strong safety, though. That's cool. Got the linebacker. Nice. Got 2 more commits. Got locked out of somebody. That's not good. Well, we are 10-1. We should easily make our conference championship. It was the tight ends. Darn, never would have saw that coming. Now we are going to go in here and slap 50 on the guys we didn't slap 50 on already. And see where things take us. Oh, wow. Miami's also getting involved now. Ooh, that's not good. I think I'm actually wrong here. I think after further review, I think we get this 5-star within 2 weeks. And Oregon needs 3. I think we are literally 1 week ahead of Oregon. Same thing with Notre Dame. I think we are literally 1 week ahead of Notre Dame. Wow. An actual game of inches. Now, at this point, I do believe all the 4 and 5 stars are off the board already. So we're just going to head and kill the... Yeah, we're done recruiting. This is our board. 15 people. Would have loved to have been closer to 20. But again, I butchered the beginning half of this by not having visits for the earlier weeks. Yep, we did get the 5-star. So we did get him both times. Both attempts, if you will. Broke a single season record. Nice. Yep, made the Conference USA title, just like last year. And, oh, we are ranked. We're 25th now. Sweet. I don't think we have any... Yeah, I wish you could schedule championships. That would be funny. But you can't, so... That is how the cookie crumbles. I am going to go ahead and just guess it's this. Could be wrong, but I think it's that. Our pro potential is also so bad. I cannot wait to get that up next year. Because we should have a couple linemen get drafted this year. A couple linemen, a couple receivers. Are you effing kidding me? By this dragging out a few extra weeks, I think it guarantees us to lose this 5-star to Notre Dame. Because the pipeline actually matters here. Well, I mean... First time around, I got 2 5-stars and barely missed the top 5 class. My second crack at this video looks like we're also going to get 2 5-stars, which means if history is repeating itself, that means we are also going to barely miss out on a top 5 class. Again. Wow, that is... If I end up getting the 6th recruiting class again, I am not re-recording this video. 1, because I didn't save, but 2, even if I did save before the video, I'm not doing this a 3rd time. These videos take hours to record, edit, and upload, so that is criminal, though. That we got a recruiting battle. Maybe we can lock them out too before we hit the off season. But we're playing 8-4 Louisiana Tech. This should be a win. This should be a clear win. Should take no effort. Bada bing, bada boom. And we won, and there we go. So last year we finished 13-0, or last attempt we were 13-0. This year we are 12-1. We had a random loss to Jack State, which I don't know if that matters for the hard sell, but our program tradition did go up. And our championship contender also should be up because we just obviously won a championship. So you guys, we will not make the playoff. I will cut all this from the VOD, but hopefully we don't lose the 5-star in the next couple weeks. Okay, so unlike the last attempt, we did, in fact, last year we finished 14-0 and did not make the playoffs. This year we went 13-1, did make the playoffs, so that's cool. Unfortunately, you guys did kind of not see it, but we did lose the 5-star receiver to Notre Dame. The recruiting battle did cuck us. That's my fault. Again, should have did the offensive guys so much earlier on. Didn't. That's my fault. Next, we are going to go in and schedule some visits. We do have some guys still on the board who I do want to go after. Now, we do only have 750 hours, which we do got to kind of be a little more conservative here, but people like Via over here. Via? However you say this guy's name, either way. We are so overwhelmingly in first place for him, just like the 3-stars. We're not going to waste time on him. Because I am an egomaniac, I am actually going to pair... Ooh. I just realized I have a running back. I have a tackle. And I have a guard. Ooh, and a center. Are you kidding me? I can hit the nasty 4-man week 1 combo. Ooh, we're doing it. We are doing it. In the transfer portal, we should be prioritizing guys who we can actually, go after to be better. But 4-stars are still 4-stars, so that's how I look at this. Our pro potentials finally went up. Yay. We're going to get him uncontested. We're going to get him, hopefully, uncontested. He is going to be contested. So in reality, we only spent a few hundred hours, which is not the end of the world. And I cannot wait to get out of this conference. My general rule of thumb is once when you beat the crap out the conference back-to-back years, you kind of leave to go up a little more difficult one. And due to us having 5 extra hours, we're going to go ahead and slap it there. Let's go ahead and look at the portal after spending nearly half of our hours. Are there any 5-stars? There are no 5-stars. Shocker. 4-stars. What do we got? Do we have any 4-stars who have innate interest in us? Oh my goodness, we have 4-stars who actually want to be here. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and just add all the 4-stars to our board who want to be here. And afterwards, we're going to have to go filter by playing time. Because unfortunately, a lot of them probably do offset each other. We'll look very quickly. The QB, this is a no-brainer, right? We have our current guy who's leaving, so we're going to go ahead and snag him. Playing time, playing style, and playing time. Due to you not being a playing time running back, we're going to go ahead and go after you. Next is wide receivers. You're a championship contender and a pro potential guy. Both are kind of rough. We'll snag the speedster first, or try to go for the speedster as is. Tight ends. Yours is playing time. We're going after no other tight end, so you should be guaranteed. You're busy. I mean, we're ahead of Georgia, so that's one possible, or that's one good thing, I should say, that we're ahead of one of them. What I realize I should have been doing in hindsight is prioritizing the guys first who have the highest initial interest for us, and then checking afterwards if their thing's playing time. Oh well. Can't say I do everything perfectly, that's for sure. Unfortunately, the hours we do have to spend getting the 4-stars that we already were committed to is going to unfortunately drag things out for the guys we would like to get at the portal, but we do need 4-stars, regardless whether they're from the portal, whether they're from the high school. 4-stars are still 4-stars. The fact that nobody committed there kind of concerns me. that talented? It is talented. Because we had a 4-person combo visit for week 1. And I kind of just presumed we would... What the actual fuck is going on? I mean, I know it was only a B+ visit. But that's crazy to me that we don't get the guy. That's painful. Looks like we do beat Tulane out for the running back, which is good. We also don't have to put anywhere near as many hours into the running back. I think the PT dropped, which is why the grade went down. But we're going to go ahead and slap 20 just because we're not getting any, we're not getting resistance, right? And so if we're not getting any resistance, what's the point of dropping the fat 30 or 40? Well, we can drop 20 on the soft sell, which does pretty much the same thing. We are still getting resistance for you, which means we're still going to have to fight for you. So we got to go cheap on the other guys. We got to go expensive on you. Nice. Now, Nebraska, if they do schedule a visit, we're kind of screwed. But again, I don't know how... I have a massive combo visit. And these guys are just... Nah, we're good. Let's go ahead and get the 4 stars we are unfortunately locked out of, that we can no longer pursue, which is nowhere near as many people as I thought it would be. Okay, after 20 minutes of stuff you guys will never see, me typing into the calculator and hard/soft selling everyone, here is the board. So for the week 3 we are currently in of the transfer portal, Toledo's not fighting us, so we're going to put just a simple 20 in there. Same thing with these guys. We're going to soft sell. It's slightly worse than a hard sell, but it's better than just doing pure hours. So these 20s to be very efficient. This center we realistically should pull off of because I think we're going to lose him in the week 4 to Nebraska, but we're going to keep trying. Fight till the very end. This wide receiver, he should be ours. We're going to leave a little 50 there. This QB... we got his hard sell pretty early on, and the combo visits we did secured him to be ours, so we put the hours off of him because we no longer really need it. And basically, that's kind of what we did for everybody, is that if they don't really need the hours anymore, we pulled off. And if they do, like for this receiver, we kind of don't have to hard sell him. We're kind of in first place. But now that we are here, we have 105 hours left. What are we going to combo visit? So... what we should do is realistically see people like Adonis over here and try to combo him, since he does have a visit coming up, to try to either get in front of it or after it, which in our case would be after. We can't do a week 3. Do we have anything that pairs with the corner? We have a safety, we have a will, we have a corner. We do have 3 people who can visit. But the question becomes, would we rather fight for this guy or fight for one of these two? And honestly, I think I'd rather fight for him, if I'm being brutally honest, because we can stack more. We'll do a playing style for you. We will do the 1 safety we have, which is you. We will stack you 2 together. And hopefully the playing time doesn't randomly become an F, because I hate when that happens in the portal, because the game factors in the guys you brought in with the other portal as like competition, and that just makes your stuff drop to an A very quickly. So I try not to use playing time in the portal as much as humanly possible. We got everybody there. We have no mics, and we have really no one else to pair. And is it really worth the +1 for him? I mean, it probably is. Any pair is better than no pair, but we don't even know what his hard sell is, so we're going to probably wait for that. Is there anyone else we could prep for the week 4 visit? We have tight ends, but tight ends only pairs with QBs, which we've already paired. Running back. D-tackle. We have running back and guard. And tight ends don't pair with either. He is going to catch a week 4 visit, though, because he's going to be a buzzard beater. And we're going to also shoot for A for him, just because we have no other tight ends on the board. So realistically, that should go through. And yeah, now we're going to cross our fingers and hope that we picked the right people to commit to, because the last important week, basically the transfer portal, the most important week is week 1. and for some reason his drop to an F. I don't understand how it can drop to an F when he is the only tight end on my board. I don't get it. It makes logically no sense how his PT is now an F. I will show you guys live. I'm not lying. There's literally no other tight end on my board, so how his playing time could go from being there to not makes no sense to me. This corner, we do now know his hard sell, and what we're going to do to try to squeeze out the top 5 class that I didn't get last time is in the first attempt of me doing this, I just skipped the 3 stars and said, LOL, I don't need you. In hindsight, that was really funny because I did need a 3. I probably legit could have got a top 5 class if a single 3-star popped up on the board, which is just funny how that works. We got really bad luck with the hard sell, but so did the computer, because the computer didn't get much ground either. So did we all just miss the hard sell? What did I typed something wrong in the calculator? That happens all the time. Sometimes I'll actually click 3 or 5-star and I'm doing 4-star stuff, which ends up tampering with stuff. PT and Pro Potential are also no's. Oh, I just got unlucky. It's this. Has a 100% chance to be the hands. Nice. Good. Ooh, we lost him. They have a better pipeline and a visit. We should just pull off of them, if I'm being brutally honest. The week 4 clutch by the CPU is probably the difference between them going and not going. I don't know how you got locked out either. You're the only D tackle on my board. Okay. These playing times just don't make sense to me, because if I'm getting a bunch of guys, then sure, lock me out, but I only had 1 D tackle on my board. How in the world could you tell me I'm recruiting too many to lock myself out? So yeah, realistically, this running back, we should go ahead and leave just because they have a visit and we don't. But I'm going to hope that we've amassed such a large lead that the week 4 visit won't matter. But knowing my luck, it probably will. And so now, let's go ahead and check our class. Where are we ranked currently? Now, obviously, this does not include the 4 stars that we currently have. We are ranked 44th because we only have technically 7 guys in our class, but we have 15 more on the way. So now that I know that we do probably need as many bodies as humanly possible, which honestly, I don't know why I wasn't doing that to begin with. Nobody is going after this 4-star wide receiver. I know he's not a high schooler. Or I know he is a high schooler. But, like, nobody's going after him. What the hell? That's interesting. We'll do the same thing for these guys, though. For any 4-stars in the portal that no one's going after. Nope, every 4-star is on a home already. Okay, so now we are going to go... And are there any 3-stars who want to be here who aren't already on a team? Yes. There are 4 running backs, though. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I can't take all the running backs here. It was, like, really funny at first, but I can't take 4 running backs. East-West playmaker for sure. North-South receiver probably next. Backfield threats, contact seekers are just generally slowest. Oh, is it all running backs? There's a guard. We'll go after this corner. Is there a way I can filter by open? Oh, I can. So all open means that there is nobody giving them an offer, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Sweet. And again, all we're going to do is come in here, slap some offers on people. We have the board filled. We got our 3 stars now. And how it should work is that because no one is going after them, and we are the only team that is, except for you, that was a misinput, but because no one's going after them, we should win them automatically. So that would be massive for us to get a bunch of 3 stars for free. And just to be extra safe, we are going to slap 25 on all of the hours. Or all the hours. On all of the guys, which, honestly, I should have probably started with the... Yeah, I got to go back and clean the board. The guys with less hours or less interest probably shouldn't get the same number of hours as guys with higher interest. I'll probably do this and slap 10 on everybody else. And we're still short. Yeah, I'm probably spreading myself too thin here, but it's all right. I'm kind of shooting for a goal that I shot myself in the foot for, so it's on me. I think if I easily don't butcher this second attempt, I easily get a top 5 recruiting class. But unfortunately, I butchered it, so that's how it be. When life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Don't be like me, and when life hands you lemons, proceed to try to sell the lemons cheaper than Walmart and then get cucked by the FCCA. So, there's 1 commit. There is 2 commits. We should get a bunch of 4 stars here. Really should. We were probably 15 or so 4 stars that were on the board just waiting. I'm very intrigued to see where we will go up from here. There's the QB. Nice, nice, nice. Lots of 4 stars. Don't remember what the high school kid's name was, but the fact that there was an entire year where there's a 4-star wide receiver that no one pursued is crazy. Hey, there's a 3-star. We got one of the 3 stars. We got 2 3 stars. We got 3 3 stars. Oh, did the 3-star thing actually work? The 3 stars are always risky because sometimes there's not enough influence put into them, even if you are the only team. Like, theoretically, you would assume if you are the only team that has an offer and the only team that has any singular, whether it's 5 hours, 25, 50, whatever, you're the only team with an offer and the only team putting hours, you should automatically win. But just sometimes the game bugs out and is like, no, you don't get the win. But it's like, why is he not coming to my team? That makes fundamentally not a lick of sense. Yeah, we got most of these guys. Arkansas got that guy. Indiana got I think this was the high school receiver. No big deal. You guys got him. You guys got him. Was that a 30-person class? Oh, nope. It was a 29-person class. Please tell me I have a top 5 class. Wow. That is so poetically ironic. I'm just leaving it in the video. I'm not doing this again. W us, the previous attempt that the video you guys did not see. We got the 6th recruiting class, and this time around we ended up finishing with the 7th recruiting class. So that's just the funniest shit ever. Literally, if I don't choke the 3-star wide receiver to Notre Dame and actually put him on a visit earlier on and not so late and give Notre Dame a lot of time to fight back, if I don't aggressively choke that, we easily sign that extra 5-star. And if you guys can see the difference between the top 5 class with Ohio State scored 243.3 points. We had 242.95 points. We lost out on a top 5 recruiting class by 0.35 points. So that means if we would have signed literally a singular 5-star or a singular 4-star or like 2 of those 3 stars, we get the top 5 class. That is very heartbreaking. But at the same time, though, I can't really complain because the first time I did this, I got 6th. And objectively, I fucked up more this time around than the first time, and we got 7th. So that's fine with me. I'll do what I'll just keep it like this. That's honestly no biggie. Since we've already begun to work our way up the board and now we are sniffing that top 5 class, I'm going to go ahead and save that for the next episode. But I appreciate each and every single guys who watched this video. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate you guys, all the love and support as always. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Deuces.